You're watching Alabama's WVUA News at 10 with your award-winning news team. John Huddleston, weather with Richard Scott, and sports with Gary Harris.
Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. Some Tuscaloosa residents are in an uproar over what they say is a rat infestation in their neighborhood. The rodents appear to be coming from an old tree, and while the obvious solution would be to cut it down, questions as to whose property the tree actually sits on is delaying that process. WVUA's Jordan Bettner has more in tonight's top story.
Our neighborhood is unsafe.
I was appalled.
This is a hazard to us.
We have children living around here.
We want them to take care of this immediately.
These are the residents of Brown Circle in Tuscaloosa, and they say their neighborhood is infested with rats.
We're not talking about mice. We're talking about rats that are jumping up and down in the tree and spraying across the back of the neighborhood.
But the rats aren't the only problem. The tree that houses the rats resides behind Friendshay Bonner's backyard fence, and it's causing a zone dispute with the Bethel Baptist Church.
A lot of their members do not live in this neighborhood, but we do. So it's not an urgency for them.
Reverend Schmidt Moore of Bethel Baptist Church declined our request for an on-camera interview, but he did say the church plans to have the property surveyed within the next few days. But residents say that's not soon enough.
We notified the health department. They told us that they own the property. So what is the holdup?
Reverend Moore reassured us that he's doing the best he can at getting the issue resolved as soon as possible. Reporting in Tuscaloosa, Jordan Bettner, WVUA News.
On your home team education watch tonight, increased funding for the new Brookwood High School. The Tuscaloosa County Board of Education made that decision tonight, but the vote was only a 3-2 decision. The debate centered around the fact that the increase will now put the project nearly $5 million over budget. WVUA's Travis Leader with that story tonight.
After hearing from Principal Laura McBride and after a long debate from the school board members, the increased funding at Brookwood High passed.
The school is going to need this space, and we need to go ahead and build it. It also can be built at this point more economically than it can later.
Hinton, along with board members James Barnett and Gary Bonner, approved the increased funding, while Mark Nelson and Joe Boatler voted no.
They are currently a little under 1,000 students at Brookwood at this time, so that would be basically 600 empty seats at Brookwood, and then to make another addition for 8 classrooms would only increase that.
Hinton says time was of the essence in order to get the kids in the new building by January 2014.
If it's not handled quickly, we possibly can't open the school on time, and the contractors need to move ahead and with the project as quickly as possible.
Boatler, though, is worried about other schools in the county, like Holt High School.
We felt like that we could get some renovations done in there, improve the heating and air conditioning. The bathrooms are in deplorable shape over there. That's something that we need to add on, and now we have to look to see where that money comes from.
The total price of the project now totals just shy of $35 million. Reporting in Tuscaloosa County, Travis Leader, WVUA News.
Brookwood High School Principal Laura McBride tells WVUA she's happy about the board's decision to fund projects she supports, but she also understands the concerns of those board members who voted against the measure. Also tonight, the Tuscaloosa County School Board approved the application to move into the old federal building. Interim Superintendent Dan Butler says he believes the school system is the only group applying to move in. The $1.2 million plan is expected to be aided from some state funds. The move is expected to be about 4 months if allowed. Butler says the main reason for moving is accessibility and consolidation.
We'll have a lot of fiber to run, a lot of offices, be bringing programs in from 8 different locations around the county, and to bring our group together under one roof.
Butler says along with the lack of space, one of the many problems at their current 9th Avenue building is the lack of access for some with disabilities. The building is currently not accessible according to the Americans with Disabilities Act. Well, on a different subject, it is getting hot out there and probably will only get hotter. Let's get a first check on Alabama's home team forecast. Here's Chief Meteorologist Richard Scott.
Hey, John, good Thursday evening to you. Still mild tonight. We've got 81 over in Birmingham, 77 in Tuscaloosa, 78 Reform. Some of the warmer spots across the western part of the state, Utah and Reform. The cooler spots over North Alabama, Coleman, 73, Haleyville. also at 73. No rain to talk about, no rain to cool us off tonight. We will stay rain-free. Also mostly clear conditions, but you think it's hot today. It gets even hotter tomorrow. 96, and that'll be a 4 o'clock high temperature. Plenty of sunshine, but what about any rain chances? Plus, we'll look at the tropics. Your forecast is coming up.
Thank you, Richard. It is a popular tailgating game, and you may have seen it on the quad, and it is becoming a prize money sport. The game is cornhole. Players toss bags onto a wooden ramp. The main goal is tossing the bag inside the hole. J.C. Park will host an August tournament called the Alabama Cornhole Cup. The 3-day event will feature contests for 1-, 2-, and 4-person teams. The total prize money is $20,000. The Tuscaloosa Tourism and Sports Commission's Don Staley says he expects some serious players to show up.
There's 4 majors, 4 qualifiers to get to their world championships, and we locked down one of those. So what we'll see is those pro players coming into play because not only the money, but the chance for the world championship title.
And to sign up for the tournament, you can go to AmericanCornhole.com. On the left-hand side of your screen, you will find the Alabama Cornhole Cup. 4-man teams pay $250, 2-man teams pay $80, and solo players pay $60. You can also enter the Luck of the Draw tournament for $20. This $3,000 tournament pits amateurs and professionals all in the same field. On a sad note tonight, sports artist Leroy Neiman has died at the age of 91. Best known for his vibrant colors and energetic images of sporting events and legends, he is still one of the most popular artists in the United States. The Paul W. Bryant Museum holds the Leroy Neiman original painting, Bear Bryant. The painting features University of Alabama players Vince Booth and Buddy Holt. It was finished in 1977, and a limited number of copies were produced. The Bryant Museum's Ken Gaddy says Neiman's piece is one of the most valued.
We have about a dozen original pieces of art in the museum. This is one of our more prized possessions here in the art listing. So it is very important to us to get these items and have them on display for the public to see.
And you can see the painting at the Bryant Museum. They are open every day from 9 until 4. The child rape case against former Penn State assistant football coach Jerry Sandusky is now in the hands of the jury. But before deliberations began, the judge dropped 3 charges against Sandusky. They are all related to alleged victim number 4. Sandusky now faces 48 charges, including child rape. He has pleaded not guilty to all counts. If convicted, he could spend the rest of his life in prison. Meanwhile, an Alabama judge has granted a trial delay in the controversial Auburn University tree poisoning case. Suspect Harvey Updike Jr. is accused of poisoning the school's iconic Tumors Oaks after the 2010 Iron Bowl. Liz Buckthorpe has the latest developments in the case.
On the heels of Updike's alleged confession to a student reporter, Judge Jacob Walker decided to grant a motion of continuance. Updike's attorney confirms his client was visibly shaken by the decision.
He wanted to go through with the process, but as his counsel, we advised him that this was the best course of action to take at this time.
A group of 31 jurors were questioned Thursday morning on whether they had heard details surrounding the case since jury selection began. 10 individuals said yes. Judge Walker said the high percentage prompted him to consider the defense's request.
What I want is what's best for Harvey. I want to work in the best interest of my client. I don't want to lose another, 4 or 5 days, selecting a jury as a lawyer.
The 31 jurors were all dismissed, and the case will begin again with an entirely new jury pool.
Everybody was working, trying to find a fair and impartial jury, and we worked toward that, and we worked hard. And so it's going to be hard to come and, do all this over again.
The district attorney's office opposed the continuance request, saying Updike brought the media coverage upon himself.
In other news tonight, traveling by train could soon become faster for some southeastern residents. A consultant study for Georgia transportation officials found that high-speed passenger trains connecting Atlanta with Jacksonville, Florida, Louisville, Kentucky, and Birmingham, Alabama will be economically feasible. Officials say the feasibility study was the first of many steps in setting the final course of the train routes and securing funding. That project is